A Flash in the Dark, Chapter 3, Choices. To say that the next few days of Barry Allen's life were some of the most interesting was a bit of an understatement. She had saved the Arrow's life, and had to talk down both the CCPD and the SCPD when they were called in to investigate her kidnapping. Captain Singh and Joe had been ready to bring in SWAT teams from both cities to find her and bring her home. Once she'd gotten them calmed down, she spent the next 2 days helping Oliver Queen, who had turned out to be the Arrow, in his crusade against evil. That was so much fun, but she needed to get home, help with the robberies. She was repacking her bag when Oliver approached her. "You could stay, you know, here in Starling," he offered, his voice low. Barry paused in folding the beautiful red dress Oliver had given her. "What do you mean?" she asked, looking up at him. Oliver stepped into the room. He'd gotten her a new hotel room in the most expensive place in Starling, officially so that she'd be safer, since the vigilante might want to come back, but mostly because he wanted to know where she was. He wanted her close. We could use someone like you on the team. You're exceptionally talented, amazingly intelligent. We could hire you on at Queen Consolidated as a consultant, or something similar to what Felicity does, where you pretend to be a secretary and you can help out the team," he explained. Barry frowned slightly. "Is that the only reason you want me to stay?" she asked. There was something in those hazel eyes Oliver couldn't identify. Hope, maybe? There was a pause before Oliver shook his head. "No. I also want you to stay for selfish reasons," he admitted. Barry smiled slightly and took Oliver's hand in hers. "I need to think about it. I won't say it's not tempting. It is. Very tempting. But I have things in Central that I need to take into account. My dad is still in prison for something he didn't do. I need to get him out. I need time," she said, and Oliver nodded. He brought her hand up to his lips. "I understand. Know that the offer has no expiration date. I'll take you to the train station," he offered, and Barry smiled and leaned in a little until their lips met. Oliver curled a hand in her hair and pulled her closer. Soon, Barry was on the train back to Central City. She looked out the window and smiled. Something new was coming. She could feel it in the air. She still wasn't sure if she would accept Oliver's offer, but something was changing in her life. She would be home just in time to see the particle accelerator turn on. She was 5 minutes from Central City when she got a call from Joe. "Where are you?" he demanded. Barry glanced out the window. "Pulling into Central City Station in about 2 minutes. Why, what's up?" she asked, standing to grab the bag from the overhead compartment. Joe sighed. "There's another robbery in progress right now. I'll text you the address. Come straight to the scene." Before she could respond, Joe had hung up. Barry sighed. She wouldn't have time to get home. She raced from the train station to the precinct. Dropping off her suitcase in her lab, she grabbed her kit and raced back out onto the sidewalk. She didn't have a car, so she ran. Unfortunately, about a block away from the scene, she ran smack into a taller man, sending them both sprawling. She was about to make a very painful meeting with the sidewalk when an arm wrapped around her, and she instead landed on the man's chest. They paused for a moment, Barry blushing bright red. "You all right?" a slightly gravelly voice asked. Barry looked up into the ice-blue eyes of the man who'd caught her. He was a few years older than her, maybe 28, a shaved head, wearing a black turtleneck. He carefully levered himself up onto his elbow, still holding Barry around the waist. She blushed to the tips of her ears as she scrambled backward and grabbed her thankfully intact case. "I am so sorry, I wasn't looking where I was going," she babbled in explanation. The man smiled again, standing and holding out a hand. Barry then realized that she hadn't gotten up yet. She puffed out an embarrassed breath and took his hand. "You didn't answer my question. Are you all right?" the man asked. Barry nodded, trying to stop the bright blush. "Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay?" she asked, belatedly remembering that she'd landed on him. The man smiled wider. "I'm fine. You're not heavy, sweetheart," he teased lightly. Barry gave up on trying to stop the blush and smiled down at the pavement. Then she caught sight of her watch and swore. "I I'm so sorry, I have to go. Thank you for catching me. I am so sorry for running into you like that. I have to go. Thank you. She raced off down the road. Leonard Snart smiled to himself as he picked up his sunglasses from where they'd fallen when the cute brunette had bowled him off his feet. She'd been rather adorable, stammering and blushing like that. He hummed a song under his breath as he made his way to the diner across the street from the CCPD.